So and we are live.
Okay.
Give it a couple of moments for some folks to come in.
Uncle Ma, I bet.
Okay, my eye, I bet.
Glad to have you. Glad to have you.
Glad to be back on amongst the living.
Right? We're back. We're bringing back.
Give
So
it a few moments.
as we enjoy this Sunday, as we always do, and we look forward to what we do, and the fact that we have been brought to you by Shinka, the bringing forth the duty of prayer. It's so important that we have this, and prayer has brought us so far, and it's so important that we utilize prayer.
Absolutely. I also remember a lot of growing up, you hear the saying that a lot of people were still around and made it through due to their grandmother's prayers.
That's
You know, when we were young and out and running amok out there, and those prayers saved a lot of us, made it possible for us to be here now.
It's the truth. That's why we're here today.
That's right. That's right. And give it, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes before we get started.
Okay.
And folks come on in. And we'll show you what we'll be reading a little later. As a matter of fact, while we're waiting, let's wait this couple of moments, and I'm gonna play something. And I will say the disclaimer right off the break. I do not own the rights to this music. So just take a listen while we wait for some folks to come on in. I open my heart to enter, and I won't turn back. I will go, I shall go to see what my life is going to be. I open my heart to enter, and I won't turn. I will go, I shall go. I will go, I shall go. I will go, I shall go to see what my life is going to be. To see what my life is going to be. In my heart to enter, and I won't turn. I will go, I shall go. I will go, go. I will go, shall go to see what my life is going to be. To see what my life is going to be. Right, we'll go ahead and stop that now. She said, I open my heart to enter, and I won't turn back. I will go, I shall go to see what my life is going to be.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Beautiful. That CD was gifted during my initiation by Abu Mahert. She had given those CDs out to all the initiates. I want to say she gave them to the men and women, but it is from Sacred Woman, and it's some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful songs and Hesties on that CD. And I thought that that would be fitting for today. And again, we don't own the rights to the music, but I did want to share that with you all. We have St. Curtis, Uncle Ma'at St. Curtis, and all of you all who have joined us for our Sunday. St. Curtis says he's glad to see you back. We are both glad to be back. So many of us are going through. Before we get started, St. Curtis did share with me that he's feeling a little under the weather. So we definitely send Myrrh, Uncle Ujah Seneb out to you. And we'll go ahead and get started as we normally do with the opening of the way.
As we get ready to get into the position of an adoration, again, it's your left foot forward and your right foot slightly back. Your left hand forward and your right hand slightly back. and we get ready to call out the word of life, which is on. Netrak in Bahet, Nuke in Bahet, Netrak Happy, Nuke Happy, Tuau and four. Turn to your right.
Netrak Circuit.
Netrak Circuit, Nuke Circuit. Tua.
Netrak Kepsanuf.
Netrak Kepsanu, Nuke Kepsanu. Tuau and tour. Turn to your right. Netrak As.
Netrak Ost.
Nuke As. Netrak Amset. Nuke Amset. Tuau and tour. Turn to your right.
Netrak Neat.
Nuke Neat. Netrak Tuamuta. Tuau and tour. Tuau and tour. Turn to your right.
Netrak Newt.
Netrak Newt. Nuke Newt. Netrak Geb.
Nuke
Geb. Tuau and tour.
Netrak Shoe.
Netrak Shoe.
Shoe.
Nuke Shoe. Netrak Tefnu. Nuke Tefnu. Tuau and tour.
Netrak Paut.
Netrak Paut into
Nuke Paut into
Nuke Paut into Netrak and boom
into
through
Nuke and Boom.
Nuke and boom into Suau and tour.
Enter.
feel like we haven't opened the way in a long time.
I know it just felt like it was, even though we do that on our individual, as you all know, we should be doing that opening of the way every day. But
Every day.
when we do it as a collective, I can definitely feel and miss. And like you said, when we haven't done it in a while, it feels like it was so needed.
It's definitely needed.
You know. So we'll say with that, Dwa R Hrw, Ankra, Samaj Se Pata, Ma'ak Heru, opener of the way, bearer of Ma'at, custodian of the Ankh. We continue the ritual which you brought to us in honor of your legacy as we live it today. To all right, as we get started, let's go ahead and give out our flowers. Always to our ancestors, first and foremost. In Bu and Taru, we give flowers to him Netter and Tepi, said Ma'at Atenra Jabari. Netter Wasiri and his queen Tara for always showing up and giving him the time to share this space and time with us every week. Always, and for that, we give flowers to all of you who show up here consistently every week as well with us. All of you do for always being consistent. All right, let's go ahead and set our feathers so we can get started and not hold you today, because today is actually an important day, which we'll mention that a little later.
That's true.
All right, so our 4 cleansing breaths here. All right, excuse my breathing. Many of us are going through little colds. We can talk about that during prayer a little later too. So excuse me for sounding real stopped up, but that's all right. We're here and we are live and well. All right, so let's get our first cleansing breath in to clear our mind. And our second to cleanse our spirit. The third to lighten our hearts. Fourth and final, we'll breathe in Ma'at and exhale if set. All right. I awake to live in Ma'at. I align my thoughts, words, and actions with Ma'at. Do on that turn. All righty. All right. With that being said, I am going to place on the screen what we are reading today, and we are coming from the Hosea, page 119, and we're going to be reading 1 through 4. Page 119 is the Book of Rising and Transformation. Take it away, Himnetter.
Okay. In section 1, as we begin, raise yourself, O vindicated one. Run, for you are exceedingly strong. You shall sit at the heads of the powers of heaven. You shall do that which Asa, the risen Savior, did in the mansion of the prince, which is in the sacred city of On. Receive your due honor. Your foot will not be obstructed in heaven, nor will you be opposed on earth. For you are the spirit from Nut, the mother of heaven, bore of Nephthys. Your sister spirit suckled, and they have put you together. Arise in your strength and do what you did before. For you are a spirit. Arise, O spirit, exceedingly strong, admonished as a great wild bull. You will not encounter opposition anywhere you walk, and your foot will not be obstructed anywhere you wish to be. Section 2. Rise up, O vindicated one. Take hold of your head. Gather together your bones, collect your limbs, and shake the dust from your flesh. Take your bread, which knows no moldiness, and your beer, which never becomes sour. Stand at the gate that bar those which know no name. Lo, the gatekeeper comes out to you. He takes hold of your hand and takes you to heaven, to your Father. He rejoices at your coming gives you his hands, kisses you, comforts you, and sets you before the spirits, the imperishable star. Section 3. The heavens declare, this royal vindicated one is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. My firstborn upon the throne of earth, and Ra has given him his heritage in the presence of the great powers of heaven. All the powers of heaven rejoice, saying, how blessed is this vindicated one, for his Father is greatly pleased with him. And section 4. O royal vindicated one, you have not departed dead, you have left alive. Sit, sit then upon the throne of Asa, the risen Savior, with your scepter in your hand, that you may command the living, with your lotus bud scepter in your hand, that you may give orders to those whose seats are hidden. Your arms and shoulders are those of Ra. Your back and belly are those of Ra. Your back, loins, and legs are those of Ra. Your face is that of the god of the dead, and both the hills of Haru and Set serve you.
Long winter. Long winter. And again, that was the book of rising and transformation. Each of those sections state rise, O vindicated one. Starting with 1, raise yourself, O vindicated one. Started with 2, raise up, O vindicated one. Even with 4, O royal vindicated one, you have not departed dead. Now, I know that it appears like a lot of our texts are speaking in terms of those who pass on, and you can take that context that way, but we are also speaking of those living. Each morning, we can be vindicated. Just as the symbolism is an opening of the way. When we declare we're opening of the way, Anka Ma'at, to all of you, I see still some coming in. When we're opening up the way, we're too saying we're rising up because we are vindicated. Each day we are being vindicated. We are vindicating the asar within ourselves. And as we're going out into the world, we are making sure that we are, the opening of the way rebalances us to do so, to go out into the world and be that vindicated one. So that everything that we think, everything that we do is in balance with the asar within us, the raw within us. It says our limbs. Here it says, take hold of your head and gather together your bones. Collect your limbs. Shake the dust off from your flesh. Take your bread, which knows no moldiness, and your beer, which never becomes sour. Stand at the gates that bar those with no name. Lo, the gatekeeper comes out to you. He takes hold of your hand and takes you to heaven, to your Father. He rejoices at your coming, gives you his hands, kisses you, comforts you, and sets you before the spirits, the imperishable stars. That is ultimately the work that we're doing in our everyday lives here.
No doubt.
You know? And it's not just to be vindicated, but that spirit within you that even drives you to do the things that are necessary to stay in balance with the divine. That force that's within us, that asar, that raw, that rising of raw within each of us, that drives us to do the things that are necessary, not just those things that people can see, but the things that nobody sees. That was a beautiful reading, him. That a beautiful reading. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I always reflect, and we go back to Baba R Hrw, because this reminds me, and the fact that we are reminded that when we had that celebratory memorial session for Baba R Hrw, it reminds me of that day. It was very powerful, and the fact that you look at the fourth setting, it says, "O royal vindicated one, you have not departed dead, you have left alive." Sit then upon the throne of Asa, the risen Savior, with your scepter in your hand, that you may command the living with your hand lotus, but scepter in your hand, that you may give order to those whose seats are hidden. Your arms and shoulders are those of Ra. Your back and belly are those of Ra. Your back, loins, and legs are those of Ra. Your face is that of the nectar of the dead, and both the hills of Aru, the Seth, serve you. So it's important to understand that 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 it's so important that we have stepped out and overcome death, and the fact that death does not win, and the fact that we understand where we at this plateau in our life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just like you mentioned, referring to Baba Heru, there were so many people that celebration brought together, some of the folks who had never even met him, but he touched their lives. So when you said, just like what you said, "Oh, Royal Vindicated One, you have not departed dead." In fact, a part of Baba Heru was born in each of us, those lives that he touched. And you got to also remember, it's not even, that's just the beginning, because there are many more lives that he will touch to come, that has yet to hear his name, yet to have seen his great works, generations to come. And that's why it's so important that we always speak the names of our ancestors, those that have done, you know, the work. Not just we speak our ancestors' names, but those who have done the work, who have laid the path for us to pick up the scepter, pick up the tools, and continue this crusade, as we say, of living. And you could think about it. You just think of, let's say, two rappers we all know, Biggie Smalls and Tupac. Now, they both passed away in 1996, 96, 97. Uh, my daughter was born in 96. Kids are being born today and they still know their music. That means they still live on. And I just used those two people symbolically because you do not depart dead. What your mark, when you leave a mark on the world and so many people, that mark will always be there. That's why it's so important to keep record. Your life is a document. Your life is record, and people who find it and who are able to pick up that record, they call your name with never seeing or physically meeting you, but you are vindicated because they read about you, because they spoke about you, because they thought about you. 20 something years from now, when we're either, passed on, transition to the next stage, there will still be discussions of Baba Heru. There will still be discussions of the things and the records that you and I and everybody else who comes here and everybody else that does their work, that left behind. So we will not depart here so-called dead. Ra, it's again, our arms, our shoulders are those of Ra. Our back and belly are those of Ra. Our back, loins, and legs of those of Ra. And our face is that of the nectar of, I won't even say the dead, of the living. Because we existed, because we're doing what we do, we will always live. So will Baba, and so will many others who have left those marks on us and those stains on us and those memories. That is the record. It is nothing different than what our ancestors carved in stone. That was the record. We're doing the exact same thing in a modern time. And I think it's so important. It's amazing that you always, we didn't rehearse, y'all. You know that. You know what I mean? As usual, I think it's amazing that not only you picked this passage to read, but we're coming here today, as you all know, is our winter solstice. Today is we're getting closer to the end of not Kemetic New Year, but the Western New Year. Seasons are changing, things are becoming new, you know. Um, and I think that when we're talking about it, you can even look at, as the chapter was called, the Book of Rising and Transformation, as the new secular year begins, rising and transformation. I remember that song that we used to sing when I first got into the Shrine of Ma'at, Ebony and Heru. Do you remember that? Rise in victory. I think that it's powerful. It's powerful how the divine leads you into these readings when it's always the right time, always the right place. You know what I mean?
Definitely, definitely, so important. Be the fact that being guided by the nectar and leading us to this day and lead us to the word that he gives forth. And so and with that opening, I would like to offer a prayer, and so that we can pray for our brother Amos. So as Amos may be watching, we all ask that everybody be able to lift up their hearts and their hand, and we ask that the nectar will come in and bless Amos and bless the fact that of the pain that he's going through and the challenges that he is sustaining from the thing of going with the chemo. And we ask that we all be here and be the strength for him to hold on and get through this. And let them know that we are with him. And no matter what, you know, that we know that he is strong enough to sustain this. And as we go through and sometimes in our lives it may be challenging, but no matter what, we will survive and we will get through. And so we say, do I never, do I never.
Wow, that turn. I was just thinking of that when you said that. See, always giving me chills. Every last one of us, uh, you know, either is or has gone through something. As we talk about our beloved Himnetter Ames, undergoing his chemo and his radiation, we send him Uncle Jocelyn. We've got, some of us who are Himnetter. You just came out of something yourself. You know what I mean? A few
Oh,
weeks ago,
sure.
and for you to be able to even share your energy to raise up another. You know what I mean? To be able to do that says something powerful about people in general. You know what I mean? Where we're talking here, and again, a lot of our texts may appear meant for those who have transitioned, but we're talking about living and coming out, rising out, authenticated ones of the struggles and the trials that we go through right now in our daily lives while we are here. Him that are our mess, him that are Wasiri, having your situation. Him, our sin Curtis here, and not just us that are ailing. I just had my whole house had the norovirus the other day. Worst sickness I've ever had in my life. I've had COVID. I've had flus. Nothing ever like that. Nothing. But not just us isolated here. Those watching, whether it be financial. We know that the holiday, that Christmas Day is coming. We're not here to talk about what we should and we shouldn't be celebrating, because some people still celebrate it, and it's perfectly fine when you celebrate your families. Some people, this is the depressing time of the year. It saddens me sometimes because this was my mother's favorite time of the year. So it's hard for me to listen to the music, to go down in the kitchen and just wipe the counters while the music is playing. I'm constantly crying. It's been since 2021. It still feels like yesterday. We have a lot of suicide rate is at its all-time high during this time of the year. People are stressing because they can't pay bills plus buy their children gifts. Some people are alone. So again, we say, oh, vindicated ones, which are all, we're collectively one body. Vindicated ones rise. And again, it says, I keep saying it again, oh, royal vindicated one, You have not departed dead, but you are alive. We're not going to say left alive. You are here alive. Sit upon the throne of Asar, the risen Savior, with your scepter in your hand, that you may command the living, that your lotus bud scepter in your hand, that you may give orders to those whose seats are hidden. Your arms and shoulders are those of Ra. Your back and belly are those of Ra. Your back, loins, and legs are those of Ra. Your face is that of the netter of the living. Yes, I'm changing the words because we are alive right now. And as long as each of us have breath in our body, we have the ability to rise up. Ra's legs, Ra's loins, Ra's backbone. While we're laying there in that sick bed, we have the ability. Ra can make us rise again. Even when we're looking up and thinking that this is close to the end and there's no way beyond this situation, this financial situation, this sick situation, this depression, this whatever the case it may be, you are vindicated. And we inherit that birthright of Asar, the one who is risen again. Think of how much love that had to be for Aset and Imbehet to gather those limbs. And I know there are many creation stories, but that's one of the stories of Asar, where they gathered his limbs and put him back together again. And that's what we're supposed to do for each other. To our sisters and brothers out there, when you're cold, if I'm warm right now, I should be able to give you my shirt. I can be cold or give you half of it. Put your arm in here with me. Let's get warm together.
So true, so true.
You know, so I feel that. I definitely feel that. Let's look at the chat and see who we've got here. Again, we've got Sin Curtis. We've got our Sinet Kazi, Sinet Oye, Ankima to you. We have Seba Obali. I got that Orokoku right now, though. Ankima to you. Sin Cleo, 4 days here. Let's see. And St. Curtis says he's been resembling by the sacred and divine healing force of the Neteru. And many times in his life after trauma and tragedy, and eventually guided to Ma'at. And each one of us has the same spiritual capacity to guide others to Ma'at. And by our deeds of helping others build and leave our own legacy, that is correct. Absolutely. And we have Ma'atin Walker, Anka Ma'at to you as well. That's correct. You know, I just think that sometimes each of us in our own ways, we get in the way where we feel so down, but there's always a long list of other people who wish they had our troubles, you know? So I think that collectively, as we come here each week and give adoration, which is what this is, it's a reminder, and it's also like a inspirational vitamin that we can rise out of any of the storms that we might be facing. And sometimes we're not facing a storm. Give thanks. We don't have to be going through something for adoration. You don't have to be ailing or sick or depressed. You can be in great divine balance, but give thanks, because at any moment, we all know that if set's waiting, just waiting for an opportunity, waiting. So do I for that reading. Wonderful. Excuse me while I clear my throat, of course.
And like you said, it's important to understand that this time that today is the winter solstice. And so as you watch further on, as you look at ascension, I believe that ascension will involve the winter solstice. So be near and be close to watch what Tepe brings to you.
He will be. Any of you all who are out there in New York and can make it over there, I want to say it's going to be around noon, which would be our normal Kemetic ascension time. I believe that's what he had said last week during Ascension at the Tekken in Central Park. So if you can make your way over there, to raise the vibration and wonderful. But tune in to the Shrine of Ma'at and the Shrine of Ma'at intro page, YouTube, Facebook Live. And as he always says, you know what I mean? It's not theater. So join in, send that energy um, for that today. And I do want to say to all of you all, happy winter solstice. you know, it's a beautiful day. You know, a lot of it every year during this day, I spend a lot of it reflecting because a whole 11 months prior to, a lot goes on for each of us in those 11 months, and it's not necessarily the highs, the lows, or focusing on one part or aspect of what has occurred over those 11 months, but a lot goes on. A lot goes on in hours, a lot goes on in a day. So just think about that 11 months of everything that you've endured, and not just endured in, like I say, a victorious hadn't to get over, whatever the case may be, just a reflection of that, whatever that means for you. If adjustments need to be made, or whatever, whatever each of our situations may be, it's a great day of reflection, wonderful day of reflection. That's pretty much the announcement that I had for today. We've already covered the prayer requests. If there's any more comments here. I don't see any more comments. How about over here, just to make sure? All right. I don't see any more comments, and that was the only announcement that I had in reference to today, which was the winter solstice celebration there over at the Tech-In. Of course, we are still planning to have our monthly meeting, but that is, I believe the date's the 5th of January, but let me confirm. Yeah, it's still set for the 5th of January. We're definitely going to be making that happen. Make sure you all, if you have not already, get your dues in on that date. And we're just asking $10 a month for each person, that can and that's able to pay their dues. That will help with the Shrine of Ma'at functions and different things of that nature. And that is to the Shrine of Ma'at, and $ Shrine of Ma'at is what the Cash App is. There is a Zelle, but I have not gotten that information yet. There's also a PayPal too. Other than that, Hemnetter, anything else that you have to add before we close out?
I think you've got it all, but I look forward to the fact that the that we have this new year that we're celebrating, and bringing forth what we can do for this chronological new year that we have. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Dua.
All of those will be, we will get the word out and keep making the announcements on the meeting. But we like he said, for the new year, when you come to the meeting, come with some ideas and some things that we can actually start putting our boots on the ground, and actions that we can start taking. We're all over the globe, per se. I'm not going to say the country, because we have people in our shrine that are not in the country. What I do love, I see some really, really positive things coming up. Again, there's that WhatsApp group that is a collective. It started with the Dwa R Hrw celebration of life ceremony, but it's a beautiful group. They've changed that outreach group to a collective for all Kemetic shrines and African spiritual systems to communicate, to talk about the things that they're doing, uh, so that we can all support each other. We do have our, yes, individual things, but this is how we actually truly build. Just imagine what it took to build the Kemetic civilization. And mind you, those people migrated from Ethiopia, from different places, So they were different sects that created a great civilization. So thinking in terms of that as far as networking with other spirit, I mean, I take Medu Nectar classes with a teacher from another shrine. I make sure to go and support whatever I can. That's you support, and they will support you whatever you're doing out here. That is how we network. That is how we build a true empire or civilization, and not to stand apart or above or over top of anyone else. But this is where things make a difference. We've got to stop being so divided and come together and think of ways that we can share our ideas, communicate, find a balance, and that's how you build. That is how you truly build. We're not building anything if there's no foundation, there's no building blocks. So I encourage people to continue to network, continue to reach out to other shrines, other spiritual houses, make sure that we make this foundation sturdy and steady. And I know that Baba is smiling down on us for doing just that. I know he is. I know he is. I mean, you've got him, Netta, you're part of the African village. There are lots of things, lots of different groups and organizations that we should all be in support of each other. So I think it's beautiful. I'm excited to see what things are going to unfold. And again, our shrine alone, we're all over like I said, the globe, because we're not all here in just the USA. We've got, one of our beloved Sins who's in Canada. We've got some folks who are in Africa, in different places, so we need to start thinking of things that we can do individually in our communities where we are, that will, bring awareness, and that will be of service to the people in our communities. Well, if you can't think of anything, it's cold. Get you and some friends together and have a coat drive for the kids. Anything. Before school starts, book bag drives. You guys know how many parents can't afford school supplies for their kids. And with them pulling all the different programs, most of the kids aren't even getting, or if they aren't yet, they won't be getting free lunches. We've got to do more than just be on screen. Got to do more than just pray and wear garb. We have to take some action. And there are needs that can be met in our individual areas as a collective. So it's time to start. 2026 is time to start doing. The solicitation of rites of passage and classes and things like that. No shade to that, but we got to do more than just learn. What are you doing with the knowledge that you're learning? What are we doing with that knowledge? So having a class, this class, that class, $1,500 for that class, you got to look at that. Because knowledge, freedom isn't supposed to be another credit bill. Are we liberating each other if it comes at a cost? And that's not to say that people should not be compensated for their work. But I think that there's a heavy trend on soliciting freedom, healing, liberation. We don't need to mirror the same exact thing that we are trying to dismantle. The exploitation, and the oppression that we're trying to dismantle. It doesn't help when we have we should not be gatekeepers of knowledge. We have to spread it and actually put it to action. So I am really excited about what 2026 will bring all of us. With that being said, I think we will close out today so that everyone can enjoy their winter solstice and the rest of their Sundays. All of us who are coming out of so-called, sicknesses, drink that elderberry syrup, get some vitamin C, protect your neck out there in this cold weather, and wish you nothing but Ankh Ujav Seneb.
Ankh Ujav Seneb.
And much more to all of you. Shema Ma'at.
Shema Ma'at. Mer.